Hi, I'm Jill.
And I'm Gianna.
And welcome to the We Watch It All podcast,
where we watch it all and give you our opinions.
AKA the opinions no one ever asked for. And here we are bright and early trying to avoid the screams.
Which is impossible
because they're already up!
I took note because I deal with this every day. They get up at 9 a.m. Yesterday we said, oh my god, it's 8:45. Let's try.
Nope.
Wah.
Nope.
7:30. Let's go. Like, it's like a cruel and unusual
Thinking
punishment.
we had at least a good hour.
Somewhere I must have died and I'm in hell because...
You must have kicked a kid or something when you were younger. I don't remember.
Let's just get into the second episode of OC.
Yeah. So this is episode 2.
Yeah.
Friendship Overboard.
Overboard?
Isn't that it? No?
I don't know. I didn't notice the name, but I thought you said friendship over whores.
Well, friendship over whores. It could be that too. But no, it's overboard because they're on the boat.
Well, no, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But,
I like your title better.
I thought you said whores.
Oh, my stomach, I'm so sorry.
I hope they can hear that because that was crazy. Oh my god.
Lately, my stomach is so verbal that it's like I needed to stop. Like, I was in that conference call on Friday and all you heard was I'm like, oh my god, I had to address it finally. I'm like sorry guys, I said I had a lot of water. Like, cause that's what it sounded like. It sounded like water
you
squishing.
got the voice isolation on that phone?
No, it was on the computer. It was a Zoom call. But I had 2 people in the room with me. So I couldn't avoid it. Anyway, let's get back into it. So we start right off with Jen, the new girl. And I'm going to say this. We did get a lot of her story in this one. A little bit,
yeah.
But I'm glad they kind of sprinkled it throughout the episode. Where, when they started with the new Housewives of the new ones of New Jersey.
Remember, we didn't even find anything about Rachel Fuda.
No.
Weeks.
But what I'm saying is, like Danielle, they gave us everything all at once. It was come on.
And then Rachel.
And then Rachel was nowhere
for them to
you
drop all
were just
her businesses.
We were just trying to figure out what the hell she did for a living. So it was kind of crazy. But this girl, they kind of
Well, it's kind of bitter though that they got this out of the way now, because now we don't have to be introduced to her or anything anymore.
Yeah, no, they definitely did. And look, it's only one new person, so you're not going to get, it's not going to be too much. But
yeah, because they don't even have to really introduce Taylor.
Yeah, no.
Most people are going to know her from Beverly Hills.
And the better thing about this is that she kind of also knows Gina from coming to her yoga classes through Tamra and all. So it's not just she just knows Tamra.
Yeah.
She has other players to play with, where these other 2 girls in New Jersey they only had their people.
They were just,
they had to make
new,
friends.
New.
Yeah. So this way, she can kind of meet up with Emily and Gina like they do for lunch, and they kind of got a common denominator, us outside of Tamra.
Which I feel like they just were here we go, we're at lunch. I just felt here we go.
Yeah.
I missed the first few minutes of the episode.
Yeah, no, they were just showing up and boom, there
Here we go.
Yeah.
I was a little taken back by it.
And they did, they did kind of jump into some heavy topics right away, like with the whole divorce and cheating and, how she met her new boyfriend. I don't understand this part. So they kind of get into all that. And then Gina, I forget that Gina was cheated on, and I forget, that sometimes. So I know she has, she's more sensitive to the whole cheater, even though I know this lady Jen was not really technically cheating because she was separated from her husband, even though he was living at home, and that's their whole personal preference. But my thing is, I was glad to see Gina wasn't drinking, which I had a suspicion because she just looked more fit, more clear-eyed, and also I had a feeling she stopped drinking. And I think after that whole episode with the getting pulled over for the DUI and all, I think she felt not so much rebranding herself, but being that she is on TV, it might be a better look if she gave it a break.
For the traditional housewife storyline.
Yeah. However, though, all these women have no problem talking about how they smoke marijuana. Now, I know to younger generations and to people that are down with the marijuana, it's not such a ooh, but for me, who came up as it was something that you're not allowed to do, it was illegal. Yeah. It's still so weird to hear these parents openly talking about, I'm California sober, which means, I dabbled in the marijuana. I mean, even Heather Dubrow says it. Shannon does it. I mean, Jennifer Aiden does it.
They talk about
what?
See, Heather tries to make it class. She's I have the gummies.
I know, but still, you're still
But she's just on a higher dose, or she's got the little, I'll get you high. I don't know what she's talking about over here next to me. Miss California Sober takes CBD.
But that's not marijuana.
No, I know. I'm
Like
messing
that's
with you.
no, but that's what I'm saying. Like marijuana is known to like kill brain cells, and I don't know. I was a little like, okay. I mean, listen, it's like, again, it is all legal.
Sadly, though,
it helps people with cancer. I understand that.
I've never seen California sober. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. That's my alarm telling me to eat. That's how early this is.
We need to eat.
I've never seen California sober work for anybody, but best of luck to you, Gina.
So anyway, moving on, we go.
Wait.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I don't mean to push you along. Go ahead.
I've never seen a waiter interrupt more.
Well, he really was trying to get a screen time, didn't I? Is that the one I said?
You said that, but he just kept coming up with, like, they would start a conversation and be like, here you go, ladies, here's this. And then they'd keep talking, and then they'd be like, and here's this. Like, all in one, like,
yeah.
Like, I really never,
he really wanted
I don't
his
know, I
screen time.
really
God bless
noticed
him.
that.
Listen, if I had that opportunity too, you wouldn't try to get
No,
your screen.
I know, but I'm just saying, like, it was, like, a lot of interruption, I just felt like. I really took note of that.
Well, because I was when you think about it, there was Tamara and Shannon's interaction together, and the girl sat them and gave them one drink and never, and like, I think came back once just to ask, like, do you want something else, and never was seen again.
Oh, yeah, to fill up asked if they wanted to refill.
So I don't know if they tell them, like, don't, or I don't know. Maybe. Or maybe this one they kept sending the waiter because they thought they needed, I don't know. I don't know. It was just weird. Maybe he just did whatever the hell he wanted, but.
Maybe.
Let's move on to the storage unit of Heather Dubrow's, known as her parking garage.
That's what that was?
I believe that was her underground parking, yeah.
Underground parking.
Yeah, they have that underground parking, and it looks like their basement, basically, because it has, like, nice floor. When you go back to when she was touring the house, like, it's got, like, beautiful floor. I think they have, like, pictures on the walls and stuff, like, in that.
Oh, you know what I thought
it
about,
might
too?
have been a section of, like, not where the cars are necessarily, but I do believe that's what that was.
I thought about a potential storyline, and I could be totally off, and I don't know, but I thought it might be a past storyline. When Heather first came to the show, was it how she met Tamara was through real estate?
Yeah.
I feel something where we know Heather leaves this big house and moves around the end of filming.
Yeah.
So Gina's getting her real estate license. I don't think Gina's going to be the one to get her new place
I
or
don't
sell
think
this
so
place. But I do feel like we'll see some kind of, like, consulting between
Perhaps.
them.
Could be.
Just thought of that. I thought of that when I was editing. I was listening. I'm like, oh my God, wait, I forgot. Heather's going to move by the end of the season. So.
You think they're going to show that?
I don't know, but I mean, I don't know if they're going to show it because I think it was after filming, but they may.
It may be Taylor that brings her into the Beverly Hills world, maybe somehow in a weird way.
But they said Taylor lives in the OC now.
Yeah,
I don't know. But I was just.
But they are getting together. We'll get into that later.
But I was just, that was something I thought about. I was like, that could be a possibility.
I just have never seen two children need more things being sent off to college. Gotta be honest. She's in this, like I said, a carport or whatever they call it, packing for her two twins, and it is filled to the brim with things.
I still think it would look that bad even if there was one kid.
Oh, probably. It was just that she had double things. And here's the thing. I thought it was just Heather kind of being, like, over the top. But no. Because when the son and daughter come in, I mean, first of all, she's got enough packing peanuts. I don't know what she's packing, if it's their stuff or not, or if that's just like, we keep packing peanuts.
In the gifting room with the Heather Dubrow bags.
Probably. But these packing peanuts are so large and so numerous that her and the daughter could sit down on it like it was almost a love seat.
Yeah.
And the daughter even commented that it's more comfortable than some of the chairs. So go figure. I'm like, okie dokie, Smokey. But the son does say, every time I come in here, there's like more and more stuff. And she says, well, you need this, you need that. And I got your sheets monogrammed so that... when she first said about monogram sheets, I was like, oh, a little much. But then she did have a good point. You will, if they get into the laundry with other people, you'll know your sheets. However, a simple black marker on a tag is usually what parents do, or a sewn-in label.
She monogrammed the towels as well.
But she monogrammed she monogrammed them, so you really can look as bougie as you want to look. I don't know what schools her kids are going to be honest with you, but I'm assuming probably expensive ones. I don't know,
probably,
because she was naming off some stuff that, like, what'd she call it? Was it a Frigidwave or Fridge wave or something?
Fridge
it's
and
a microwave.
But she bought that. Usually don't like this. Dorms come with like a fridge.
No, I don't know that they do. I think you have to bring your own fridge. Yeah.
Oh.
Because they were asking, somebody was asking for a refrigerator for their kid for college, out of my job because we have all those little ones when they
Yeah.
were getting rid of them. I don't think they're that expensive, but it's just the bottom line is I can't imagine how much she spent. She's like, oh, it's like furnishing an apartment. No, honey, it's one room. You have a small room, and half the time you split it
Studio
with.
apartment.
No, she made it sound like it was like.
I know, but it's like a studio apartment,
But
I guess.
you're not. You don't. That's not what you have. You have like one room, and sometimes you have to share it with people. Maybe they have their own rooms. I don't know. Maybe their luck's like that, but I don't know. But the son comes in, and when she talks about like after he makes his comment, she reads off what he would like when I guess she says, "What kind of comforter do you want?" She
I think
reads,
that was the daughters.
No, it was the son.
Oh.
The son spouted out all this like
Like an aesthetic, I
yeah,
guess.
woodsy Parisian
Cottagecore.
cottage. But it was like 20 different things. And I mean, Heather said like, how do you find that in a comforter? But I'm like, I'm sure she did. I have no doubt that she did not find that.
I know. We
Because the
need to
son
see
left.
these rooms.
Yeah, I'm hoping she goes to the school with them and we get to see like what these
I
rooms
feel like
look
they will. This is big. This is big
I
moment for Heather.
pray to, I can't imagine she would just send them off with all this stuff and hope for the best. After she's made this statement about she loves to decorate and that when she got to college, yes, she went with only like a comforter and whatever, but she did elaborate that she went to to the stores and bought some stuff.
Yeah, she's just pre-prepping, so basically they don't ever have
Yeah,
to go
because
out.
she's
and
so
do
organized.
anything.
Yeah, she's just
Because she had like Advil and things like
Yeah,
that.
oh
So
my
it's like,
God.
she like thought of everything you could potentially need.
Yeah.
Basically, she doesn't have to send these kids with any money, essentially, because they should have everything they need.
But-
you should not have to
yeah.
call and be like, "Hey, I need something."
Yeah, you shouldn't need
because it's there.
it. You shouldn't need
essentially.
anything. She really,
I mean, pretty.
there was
smart.
vitamins, there was Advil, there was you name it.
You may just be like, "Hey, ran out of my vitamins." Need
yeah,
an
I
update."
need a new.
And that's pretty much it. Which is,
Yeah.
I mean, smart.
But nothing was better than when I realized that me and my favorite housewife,
Oh God.
Heather Dubrow, have the same ringtone. And it was starting to get on my nerves, my ringtone, and I said, nope, can't change it. Me and Heather are in sync, and we didn't even realize it, so you gotta love it. Then we start with what I thought we were going to start with on this episode. Didn't you think we were going to pick up?
Yeah, I
with,
did too.
That's what,
I think that's what threw
you
me
like.
off in the
Yeah,
first
like
scene.
with the Jen thing, with the new girl Jen was that I thought we were going to pick up with the Tamara Shannon meeting because that's where
What,
it
was-
left
that-
like so
that was its
dramatically.
to be
Yeah, and
continued.
you just figured that's but they each, which I thought was really weird. I don't know if it was the timing or if they really called back to back. I mean, they must have though, because they were both on their way there when they were calling,
Yeah.
so it had to be within a certain time frame. They both called called Heather to talk about like meeting up together, and basically Heather had the same consensus that I thought. This is not going to work because they both think they're right, and neither one of them is going to cave in.
Yeah, that's the issue. Which it's like one thing that I think is gonna like, obviously we know they pull this together, but if they don't pull it together quickly, I'm like remembering like they did this fight already where like you don't pay attention to me,
Yeah.
all you do is use
Yeah.
me, which is like if you've had this fight this many times,
You
maybe
better
it's not gonna work.
Learn from New Jersey. You better figure this shit out quick and either pull it together or just be enemies because, I think it's gonna. If they don't do that, I think it's gonna be it's the same old. Don't come back doing the same old.
Because that's like I thought about that. Like, isn't this like their last fight before
Yeah.
she like left? Like this was their big fight. Was like I'm like I don't want to do that again. I'll just go rewatch
No,
that
me
season if
neither.
I want.
Me neither, because I'm like, I feel like, and I don't feel like anything so horrendous has happened that
No.
you could really take the stand to be like enemies with the person. So I think you need to just suck it up. Either you're not going to get the apology and realize I have to move on or whatever. But the meeting like lasted like, it felt like all of 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Like they sit down, they get a drink, a bee interrupts them, and you feel like, oh, there's old Tamara and Shannon, like with the shenanigans and stuff. And it just, like, they realize, they do run through a couple of things, don't get me wrong, but I think the both of them are so, like, in this place where, like, Tamara feels that she wasn't there for her, and Shannon feels like she was there for her. Now, that's the thing with people. Tamara's level of how much she needed Shannon to be there might not be the same amount of what Shannon thought she was providing. Like, she
Yeah.
thought she was providing a decent, thing for her friend. But if she, like, Emily says it later in the episode, like, if you don't tell people, they're not mind readers.
I was like that. Listen,
that was like
sometimes
the
the
most
best thing Emily's ever said.
Yeah, that was like the most because it is the truth. Like if you're allowing her to call you at all hours of the night and disturb your family, and you never say to her, Shannon, you can't do this, it's disturbing my family, then how do you but if you pick up her call every time, how do you expect her to realize, oh, they don't want me to call at this hour, like, okay, I can't do that. But if you pick it up every time,
I feel like this is the exact thing she said the last time, so I don't even remember how they got over it, but they did.
Just agreed to disagree, which is kind of where they left this. They agreed to kind of disagree, and I think what happened was,
they don't set boundaries.
No.
They need to set boundaries.
And that's what I think they need to do. Because I think what happened was, because she wasn't calling her and being as involved as she was, like, Tamara got pissy, started saying things in interviews. So now the fact that she already was not calling her as much as she should have, now she's not calling you because now she hears what you're doing. It was like, it's just, like you said, shut it down, let it go. I don't know where this is going to go, but we see on the boat it doesn't go anywhere good later. So they obviously didn't really resolve anything. Now, I did say we didn't get too much of Jen, the new housewife, but then they overload us with crazy.
Yeah.
But I do like when I see rich people having moments that are very similar to, the average Joe. Like, she's making tacos, but yet there's meat and cheese and
She
nothing.
forgot
everything else.
She forgot to go buy everything else for the tacos.
Well, what the hell are you doing that you can't remember to get the other stuff? You couldn't send the 18-year-old to be like, hey, get some lettuce and tomatoes or some whatever goes on. I don't know. But I'm like, then she like drops a cake in the oven and the adopted kid's pulling out his tooth, and I feel like that is her house 24/7.
Oh, yeah.
Like
a complete whirlwind.
Yeah, no, I couldn't do that. That's like, our house is worse than Bronwyn's.
Yeah, I would say it's worse than Broadwin's, but it's at least like a funnier thing than
Yes,
Broadwin's.
they are funnier.
Like, yeah.
They're funnier and more genuine. Like, I feel like they are like genuinely kooky like this. She gives us like the backstory on this young boy Dominic and how, which is very sweet, and I commend her for doing that, because taking in foster kids is a lot. I mean, I know she has a big house and she has the ability to, but I mean, like, this kid is like, it's really sad like that. He was 11 months old. I don't know why I thought he was older than that, but like at 11 months old, like, he realized he did not want to go back to this shelter. Obviously, I mean, he's probably not stupid, and so the big house, the pool, and everything else that she had, and figured, why would I want to go back to this shelter? But I mean, so I'm glad to see that, she adopted him at 5 years old. I think they ended up adopting him.
Yeah, because of the
he's a cute
process.
kid. He's a cute kid. He'll be a fun addition. He could be the new Gia, or what's Jen Aiden's kid's name?
The daughter, I have no clue.
Oh, damn it. I can't remember, but you all know who we're talking about. Showman turned love therapist.
Love doctor?
He could be the new one. Olivia? Yes, Olivia wants to be a love therapist now. I can hear it. Yeah. So Olivia has definitely stolen Melania's crown, because Melania's obviously older now, so someone had to step in at the New Jersey Housewives.
But Melania was never this way.
No, but I'm sure
Melania just walked around and called people stupid old trolls.
Yeah, she's probably...
Give her pizza.
She's probably trying to figure out, how do we get the show off pause, Olivia? That's probably what she's trying to figure out.
She's now just a regular therapist.
Yeah. So
they should have brought her out during the New Jersey reunion and had her make it work between Melissa and Teresa.
Right? So we were just talking about food off the mic, but
stop, because we took a pause because we thought the neighbors were leaving.
Yes,
so we were just giving them a second.
But as apropos as it was, since we were talking about food, apparently the editors thought they should make us all feel bad and watch each and every housewife when we come back from commercial doing exercises in their slimwear. I mean, come on now.
I feel like
it wasn't just one or two. It was
every.
every one of them. Come on, that was clipped from, I don't know where you clipped them from, but
I feel like Emily's was so forced, especially because you could tell she dropped in front of the bed, and the dogs are like sitting on her.
Well, I think she does exercise in her bedroom in a weird way, because I know when she was losing weight.
Oh, she had the Peloton, right?
Yeah, but when she was losing weight, she used to post stuff from her bedroom, as if that's where she was.
I love that Shannon has a giant picture of herself in her gym room.
Oh yeah, no, she's had that. That's yeah.
No, I know. Well, I'm envisioning one day, hopefully, when we have like a place for our own and we hope we can build a mini home gym, we should just get our big faces
like back to back. No, full body, like back to back or something.
Yeah, and put it on our wall, like the size of the, what's the one in Atlanta? What's her face? Cherie got
that big painting. Yeah, I could paint it out for us. I mean, of course, thank God, there's Shannon and Emily, like you said, who do bring us back down to earth, because you have Shannon who's like falling all over the place once again.
I don't want to criticize your girl Heather, but her punches were a little whack.
I didn't notice them. I'd
They
have
were a
to
little
look.
like,
Well,
come on.
she doesn't have very strong arms.
She got a, well, it was just the way she was swinging at it. Like, she didn't have no form to it. Like, she could have formed up a little bit better.
Yeah, probably. And then, of course, Emily, the dog water drinker, is getting attacked by her dogs. So I was glad to see that because whenever we get to the floor, usually someone's sitting on our mats or in the way when you're trying
That's
to
why
do
we have to go
a leg lift.
downstairs.
Yeah.
Because we can't work out up here.
No. Or they're crying, screaming because they just don't know what the hell we're doing, and I guess they think we're
They
hurting
don't like
ourselves.
anytime we move anything in this apartment. They freak out. They think they're moving again.
No. So speaking of gyms, though, that you mentioned it, Tamara and Eddie, we are now in Cut Fitness, and they are packing it up. Eddie is breaking stuff down. Eddie, I love you. He sold off everything. That's my kind of guy. Garbage cans, clock, you name it.
Why not? I mean,
if it was able to be moved, he took it and sold it. That's what you got to do. You got to make your money on things. I mean, it's just, they do a couple of little flashbacks, to them opening the gym, in the gym. She talks about how Emily reached out to her, which I'm glad to see Emily's trying, because I don't always like Emily. Sometimes she makes, like I was saying, like stereotypical comments where she stereotypes people. Mm-hmm. And I know that, like, it's growing up in my generation, they did that a lot. She does a lot of that sometimes that I find, and it's like weird. So sometimes I don't always dig her. I mean, I am glad to see that she is actually trying. So maybe all the stuff that she said at that yoga retreat thing where she said she's trying to be more understanding of what's going on in other people's lives, maybe she's actually practicing it.
Well, she probably figured, all right, let Gina get in with Heather, and I'll get in with, like, Tamara, and we'll both each have, like, an OG on our side kind of thing.
That would be smart. I mean, that would be...
Because Shannon's, like,
wild
chaotic mess that you don't know what Shannon could do.
Keep her friendly, but I would not bank on her. I would never bank on Shannon, because Shannon, anybody could hate her at any minute.
Like, Heather, either way, if the show ends poorly, you got a close rich friend, potentially.
Yeah.
Tamara, she's new. Andy likes her like that. Like, so you got somebody to, like, grasp on with. So it's not a horrible idea.
Yeah, but she reached out to her, said, I'm sorry to hear about the place closing, and she's telling Eddie how nice that was, and she starts telling Eddie about her meeting with Shannon, and of course, like she says, like she said everything she needed to say, but she didn't talk about, like, okay, so we're good or anything. So obviously they aren't good, and she walked away thinking not good. She just wants, I guess, Shannon to be more, like, empathetic and more, like, caring, and clearly we see her on the boat. She is very, like, I don't know if I would call...
in her own little world.
Well, yeah, like, I don't know if I'd call her, like, ditzy or just... I think she's oblivious. Like, I think she's oblivious to what's going on around her, because I don't know that I'd say it's actually her being, like, rude or mean or, like, not... But I just think, she's in her... Whatever's going on in her world is her biggest thing. And I think whatever's going on with John is her biggest thing. So anytime that is brought to light, you're going to lose her. But I thought it was sad watching Eddie take, like, the Cut Fitness sign down, and they're going to save that and stuff. I mean, I hope he does, like, stuff with fitness still.
I mean, I have to assume that you still own the name Cut Fitness, so you should transform it into, like, an online app or something of that nature. I just feel like if you already own that thing, like, I thought about it, too, after when we were talking about the
Fitness
skinny...
online or something.
Yeah, Skinny Italian, the pizza ovens and all that. Like, it makes sense to go with Skinny Italian because...
It is already a name.
It's a name, it's a brand, it's already... You don't have to, like, go get the rights for this and stuff. I'm sure she still owns the rights, so...
Yeah, that's what I'm assuming. So, we did do a little deep dive into Eddie and Tamara.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Eddie does not look like he's doing any kind of fitness unless he has made a whole nother Instagram, but they are doing a Costa Rica trip with the Judds, and you can join them for a 7-day adventure from December 9th to the 15th for a mere $3,195. That's the early bird special. If you get in there late, you gotta pay $300 more. I'm like, are you kidding me, guys?
What's up with these trips and everything? I just told you that one of the artists I follow, Fletcher, is doing this, where she's, like, gonna go to Portugal.
But I don't know what are you doing with them?
But here's my thing. I wonder how many tickets they have, because that was the whole thing with, like, the artists.
10 spots left.
No way.
I don't know how many there were to begin with, but there was 10 spots left.
See, because my thing, when Fletcher, she said there's 400 tickets, and it was supposed to be, like, a personal private event with Fletcher. It was not, because how are you supposed to be personal private with, like, 400 people?
Okay, well, it says group spots, 8 to 20 spots. I don't know what that means. So, yeah, if you'd like to take that trip, knock yourself out. I don't have $3,000 for something that I'm not really... Like, how close are you going to get to them anyway?
That's what I'm saying. If somebody goes, please document this well.
I would really love to see it, because to be honest with you, look, well, here's the thing. Let's say no... Hi, come up here.
Cooper's going to go on the trip, it sounds like.
You're going on the trip? Do you need to go see Tamara and Eddie? Yeah, so, I mean, to be honest with you, you could get close. Look, if nobody else...
Imagine you only bought one
and you're the only one that's not... Or like...
No, there'd have to be an amount. Like, I think if, like, a certain amount of people don't book the ticket, they'll probably just cancel it.
Maybe. Because
they have to be able to make their money back from it.
But I guess people would say, look, if I was going to go to Costa Rica anyway, let me go and see Tamara and Eddie, because that's, would make it fun. I don't know. Gina has COVID.
Yeah.
Who has COVID anymore? I'm just going to, I'm confident in saying that. Who gets COVID anymore? What the hell?
Not us. We wear masks.
No, but, who gets COVID anymore? I don't even, I mean, I know she has kids, so that could be...
They're not in school yet.
Yeah, that's true. It was summertime, so I don't know where the hell you got this COVID.
Which was supposed to be the whole thing. Is summer, it's harder to get COVID because it's hot, so it kills the virus.
Well, I also think maybe they're thinking that too, but I don't know.
Didn't she have COVID once already? No, she didn't get COVID during the COVID season.
No, maybe not. So now she can't have her party, unfortunately, or she can't join in. So Emily, who is a party planner, lawyer,
I'm glad she referenced that.
/
Crazy. We talked about that last week.
So Emily is on her way over to get the party supplies from Gina so that she can, I guess, assemble everything for her. And we get our first glimpse of the person I like least, the husband.
Yeah.
I mean, he's always good for entertainment, but... And so the best part that I love is that while Emily is on her way to pick up the stuff, we get the wonderful, I think I need Taco Bell. Very under the breath, you almost would have missed it if you weren't paying close attention.
Yeah.
She needs a taco. Not only does she need a taco, but apparently somewhere close to Gina's house is the best freaking donuts known to man.
Oh my god, yeah.
Come on, yeah. Every time you see Emily, it's either talking about food or eating.
Jen Fezla. I think she would get along great with Jen Fezla.
Because even when she was talking about setting up the party, she had carrots in her hand at her house while she was crunching on carrots while she was talking to her. At least I'm glad they were carrots, but because this ride was a bad scene, she was talking about donuts and Taco Bell, which none of them are obviously any good. Did you know about the flamingos and the pink and the shrimp?
No, I don't really think about flamingos that much.
Yeah, but I feel like I did read that somewhere, or I learned it somewhere, not on the Housewives, but there you go. This lawyer girl didn't know about pink flamingos. Don't know.
Well, you'd think at least the party planner in her might.
Right? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't know.
That husband has a lot of time on his hands, though, when he was failing his many attempts at becoming a lawyer, so.
That is true.
Maybe that's why he was failing, is because he wasn't actually studying, and he was just looking up useless facts online.
About animals. Maybe. I don't know. Gina also suggests that Tamara and Shannon maybe not be sitting next to each other because they show a little clip of Shannon saying how the...
Keep going, but sorry. I was going to say, why is there so many flashbacks and footage that we don't see? This is like New Jersey already.
No, they really do.
They've showed so many flashbacks already in the first episode, in these first 2 episodes of scenes that we haven't seen.
I feel like they must film a ton of things, and on all the shows though, because
that uninteresting. Because I feel like, I'm not gonna lie, some of these scenes are uninteresting. So how boring must those scenes be to just That's what I keep thinking to myself. Maybe they're the only thing I think of is that the flashback is not, like you said, not that it's boring, but it's not. The conversation wasn't so big and it wasn't enough to make a scene, but it was enough for her to reference so that you can hear that Shannon did say, listen, it didn't go anywhere. That's the only thing I could think of. I don't know. And it's just they're quick little bloops of flashback. It's bloop.
Yeah.
Blinking, you could miss that flashback, but it's still why so many?
We need to learn about pink flamingos. So that's what I'm saying. We need to learn about pink flamingos. Whatever.
It wouldn't have been better to see them out shopping? Or...
I don't know. That's what I'm saying.
We needed to see the drive over here. We already knew she was going to do the party.
Yeah, I that's what baffles me too. So then you see everybody getting ready. I just want to know, as I'm watching these ladies get ready for this party, which, okay, I understand it was on a boat and stuff like that. A lot of them have a lot of makeup on to go on a boat. And I'm thinking to myself, really, all of that to go on a boat? I just love that my girl Heather can do these intense ponytail pullbacks, and it's not affecting her hairline that I can tell.
Maybe she's wearing a wig.
I don't know. I mean, you can't hide the pullback.
Maybe her husband is a plastic surgeon. Maybe she got the
keeps
plugs.
lowering her forehead. Oh, I thought you.
Well, that too. But I was gonna say maybe she's getting the little like hair.
I don't know. Everybody comes in the pink flamingo color, Pepto-Bismol pink, which is what the party should have been. Did you notice though that when Taylor, I mean, they all arrive at different little staggered moments and stuff, but they're all okay with things. Did you notice that when Taylor arrived, like it was starting to have some kind of, they were trying to do some kind of intense music?
No.
I noticed that it was like, it almost sounded like a little bit of a Jaws-y type thing, dun, 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 and then it lightened up. Like, I don't know, like I felt like they were like trying to make it like, oh, look who's coming, like she's trouble or something. But I'm like, she's Taylor. Like, I know Taylor causes trouble,
She'll
but
take you
like,
out back and do some Oklahoma on you.
yeah,
So,
but
I
it's
mean,
like she hasn't met any of these women yet, so like, why act?
That's true.
I don't know.
But she did. Wasn't she able to throw down with the Ultimate Girls Trip girls?
No,
So,
she definitely did.
I mean, and I think she is gonna throw down this season.
She was
Honestly,
already like making comments. Like, I didn't. If you like, that's the thing is like, if some of these comments, if you weren't paying total attention or didn't like rewatch it, like you might have missed it. Like, she made a comment about when Tamara was saying something about Shannon. She said, and it was really about Emily, because when Tamara started going in on Emily, like, oh, why are you sticking up for her? She said, if you're gonna defend a friend like that, you're not a good friend. Or like, she made a comment like that where she chimed in where I'm like, wow, girl, you too new with this group yet. I don't know what you're doing, but
I will say though, like with the Ultimate Girls Trip, it feels so normal to see cross housewives, but this,
it was weird.
it feels weird. It's
Yeah,
like,
but
this
apparently,
feels...
like, she knows Heather. They've run in similar circles,
Well,
and
yeah,
have
you
always
have
said
to
they
keep
were
in
going to
mind
get together.
They've met up at like BravoCon and things like that.
But she said she's seen her around. I don't know if she said L.A. or somewhere, but like she said that they were always intending on like getting together, and now here they are. So, well, the trip brought you together. But here's where we jumped forward before to Shannon and being oblivious.
Yeah.
Like, this was. You know what? Here's the thing. Like, I think they're painting them both in a bad light when they have the opportunity, because they're really making Shannon look bad.
Yeah.
But then they also did it to Tamara later when she was drinking. So they obviously, I thought maybe they were just playing favorites to Shannon, but they really did. Like, I don't understand. I'd love to know if that really happened the way it did. Like, she was in the middle of the story, and then she said, oh, is that John's son? But the way they made it seem, because I know from you can raise and lower people's microphones.
Yeah.
So they made it look like she shouted over the story. And I don't know if that's really what happened. Like, did she just say, like, kind of to Heather, like, oh, is that John's son? Because they made it look like she was like, oh, is that John's son? Like leaning over the table and all like that.
Yeah.
Like,
well,
but,
I mean, it could just be cut, perfect.
She did try to stand up, I think, but I think it was just more like, again, to see what she could see. But
see, the issue here is it's like you're clearly looking somewhere else, paying attention to them, trying to figure that out. So were you really listening to the story?
She definitely wasn't, because she just kept going with, like, while she was trying to say other things about her story, like, she not only was talking about John, but she brought up, like, the seal. This is where the seals typically are. So clearly you weren't paying attention to what this lady was saying.
No.
Because in the end, when Emily tells you need to apologize to her, you're like, oh, I was very interested in what she has to say, because I went for, again, which is what they're trying to say, and I wish they'd explain it better. Her obliviousness to the main crux of things is, like, she's going back to how she was going to be a foster mother at one point. No, they're saying how you're not listening to people, not about that you have any kind of similarity to her.
Well, who was the one? Oh, heavens. Oh, Sutton. How Sutton, they always said Sutton made it about herself.
Uh-huh. Well, that's
I
kind
feel
of
like
what,
the same thing, but
yeah.
I think it's like a lack of like not knowing
I
how to
think,
relate
yeah,
to people,
I
so you
think-
relate it to yourself.
Yeah, and I think she just thinks that, like, why, I think she's using that as an example as to, no, why wouldn't I listen to her? I was going to do this at one stage in my life, so I'm very interested in it. But she wasn't interested, because she wasn't paying attention at all.
No.
Like, she was in her own little world.
Some producer
so,
was probably like, ask this question, get the conversation going, and she probably didn't think, I have to pay attention.
and like I said, I think there is, at this point, something going on with her and John. So I think anything that happens with John, she's on high alert, because then she was like, oh, is that John? Like, I think she's like on super alert, like to catch, I don't know if she wants to catch him, or
I can't even figure out what the hell's going on.
yeah,
anymore.
I don't know. But apparently you hear Tamara too, like when she's in Cut Fitness talking to Eddie about like how they're always fighting or something, and if they're drinking, like there's, I guess, things get worse, or
Yeah.
I don't know. So apparently there is stuff going on between her and John. Tamara is talking, well, Jen realizes this is what her friend's been dealing with.
Yeah.
She gets a good glimpse of it. So she understands where she's complaining from. And then magically, all of a sudden, I don't know, somehow Shannon and Heather just go away. and go to the front of the boat. They're like,
Yeah,
I'm gonna go
think
find
in the
the
chaos
bartender or
because
something.
they were all talking on the other side.
Yeah,
of the
I
table,
think
so
they started
kinda,
talking about it, so now they thought,
separated.
yeah, I think in a weird way, Shannon thought, oh, see, they're not talking to me, but they were talking about her and how she wasn't
Yeah.
paying attention.
So
and,
she
yeah.
separated herself from
So
the group.
she goes up to the front, then Taylor follows suit. There was someone else.
Emily?
Well, Emily's in the front? No, Emily was in the back with
Gina
Tamara.
then? No, wait, Gina's not there on the
No.
boat.
I think, well, Jen does end up in the front in the end.
Yeah.
But at that point, it's just Taylor, Shannon, and Heather. And the best is they're getting ready to do Taylor first of all tells Heather that she is in a movie. First of all, I'm glad that she's asking Heather for help and pointers, but who's putting Taylor Armstrong in a movie?
I don't know. She's probably not anything big.
I'm like, what? I don't know. So she agrees to get an acting coach and maybe she can help her and this, that, and the other thing. So they agreed to do shots, and nothing beats Heather and her shots. I was surprised that Heather was going to take the shot because she's not a shot girl.
Because they did say you never...
No. So she takes the shot, drinks a sip of it, and then goes to throw it overboard behind Shannon and, must just loses control and, loses the glass.
What did they give her on this boat, though?
I don't know. She was dropping
Because she
shit.
dropped the thing in Tamara's lap.
Yeah, but you have to remember,
and then she
a
gets
boat
all
is...
kooky later on when she goes to sit with Emily. And then
I think she had
I'm
champs and the water, and I think it all
what
just...
did they somebody spiked the drink even more than it is.
They definitely could have, but but the best was when she threw that glass overboard, or not even overboard, it hit the window, where the captain would have been driving. I don't know, it was crazy. You have Tamara and Emily in the back, and I think Emily's trying to bridge the gap and trying to help with Shannon, genuinely trying to make it better. And right when they start to get into anything, here comes my girl Heather, and she does the weirdest thing where she...
That's what I'm saying.
Sits,
What did they give her?
I don't know, because they were already sitting very close together because their legs almost looked intertwined, Heather and Emily's, in a weird way. But I think they were trying to brace themselves on the boat. And then you have Heather, who just comes in and
Plops down,
and then she's totally ignoring Emily, and it gives Tamara a kiss or something. It was just weird. And then not on top of it, she interrupts the whole thing and says, "Let me ask a question. Can I ask a question?" And Emily's like, "Why bother? Just go ahead." I mean, it was I don't know what they were trying to do, but I know she's trying to get her to take a little bit of responsibility, because if she does, then they're thinking that Shannon will take a little bit of responsibility. And I think they think that Tamara is the easier route to go, which I do think so too, in a certain respect. If you get her in the right light, she is. If you get her when she's drinking, that's where they went wrong. They got her while she was already 3 sheets to the wind with champagne, and she's just gonna get loud like she does, and she's just gonna get wild, and she's gonna say phrases like she can F a duck, or whatever she said, suck a duck, or I don't know, but
something with the duck.
Yeah, it's like Heather said, no, that's not a phrase. Stop it. But like we said before, Emily had a good point where she said, if you don't tell Shannon what she's doing wrong, she's never going to know. Because first of all, Shannon, like we said, not self-aware.
She's very oblivious. So how would she know?
She's not going to. She's not going to get it at all. So now you hear Tamara screaming from the front of the boat. Jen has moved to the front of the boat now with them. And that was the most awkward little threesome ever, because they don't really know each other and stuff. So they're like...
Yeah, nobody does really know each other.
Out of that group, no.
And then also... What's-her-face, Jen, was just talking bad about her up there, so it's
So it is, which I thought was weird that she ended up in the front of the boat. Almost like, did somebody tell her to go up there so these two could have this private conversation?
Probably, yeah.
And I do believe that now, because based on, listening to a lot of stuff that happened on Vanderpump Rules and interviews that are coming out now of cast members on how things go down, there was something with Kristen Doty that when she brought this girl on the scene, she said... everybody knew this girl was coming in at this time, except for the people that she was confronting. Mm-hmm. But everybody else knew, so, they set it aside. So I do think they do stuff like that. I think they set things up to,
not
go down a certain
scripted,
way.
but
loosely. But, maybe you should have a talk with Tamara now about, trying to get her back with Shannon or something. Maybe they don't tell Tamara, but they tell Emily to go approach her and send Jen to the front saying, we want her. All right, so you have Tamara screaming, and the girls can hear her up front. Then you flash forward to, Emily, Jen now is in the back with Taylor, and they're all sitting down eating shrimp at a table. How did they go from that to that? So that's what gets me, is, where they do that kind of... Yeah, and I'm like, okay, how did you all get here? Because where's Tamara now? Now Tamara's magically coming from someplace by herself when she was just clearly with Emily and Heather. I don't know. So Emily... starts by before Tamara gets there, telling Shannon, you should apologize to Jen because you were, kind of disrespectful when she was telling her story. And of course, here's where Shannon, this is what starts the fight, because Shannon obviously says like, oh, I didn't realize it. And, I'm the type of person that was going to foster kids. And they're just like, again, like, she just doesn't get it. Just apologize for being rude and saying, I'd love to hear your story. But she has to be like, it's about her. And I think that's the problem. And unfortunately now Tamara has showed up and had too much alcohol, and she is attacking Shannon, who hasn't really drank, I don't think, nearly as much, or if at all. She's going to look coherent in comparison to Tamara. Just looks crazy because she's already saying about throwing drinks and, all right, let's not go there again. And like, she's standing up on the chair. So yeah, she looks crazy. So it doesn't end well, and that's kind of where they leave it.
Yeah,
like,
and we didn't
another
get
fight.
any Cubby attractions again.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe it's because we watch it on Peacock the next day, but
Usually they do though. But
we do get a lot of never before seen footage, which
seen.
Again are ones that are not necessary. It's like the whole flamingo scene was never before seen, I think.
Yeah, like they extended on the flamingo scene.
Like no, that's not the one you extend on. Come on, guys, get this right. You still have other episodes. Pull it out, because if this is what we got, no.
Yeah, I saw somebody, I think it was Gina, who posted on Instagram and was like, what does everybody think about the episode? And they were like, no, get rid of Tamara again, put her back on pause.
Tamara better
Well,
pull it
because
together.
they said she came back exactly the way she left, which she did.
She did, and here's the thing. She did say she wasn't going to do that. When in that first episode, she said,
yeah,
hopefully I've learned something. And I think that's what would have been better, is if she came back and said, listen, I know this one did stuff to me. I'm just going to give everybody a clean slate, and I'm going to let them start from here.
Yeah.
She would have been smarter in that respect and saying, I won't forget. I'll keep it always, here in the back of my mind. But I'm just going to go straight across the board, forgiveness for all.
Because everybody kind of did that with her. Like, everybody's good. Like, Emily even said, like, yeah, the Streck comment, like, and look at Emily. Like, she's, like, good and cool with her.
She's, sadly, I don't like her, but she's making herself look
The issue is Shannon. And, I mean, the only benefit is that we do know they get back together. It's just they got to do it sooner than later, because it will... Yeah. It will... I don't think it will be a good season then if they keep this up. Because, like I said, it's very reminiscent on a past season.
I think they should have made this season where they're working through their friendship, rebuilding it. Instead of, like, starting with the fight, just say, like I said, let's start over. And when things happen, I think they should have been like, okay, listen, so we're not going to go down the old path. Instead, we're going to, like, show them working through it. Show them, like, each side of whatever, or send them to counseling. I think that would have been fun to have them go to counseling, or you know what I'm saying? Like, make a storyline out of it. Be like, listen, we're not going to do this on our own because we can't. So let's go to counseling. That would have been hilarious.
Quick, like, first little mini girls trip to, like, a friendship retreat of the girls.
Right?
They love sending them off to those little, like, bonding treat.
Yeah,
that would have
something
been
like that.
Perfect.
I just think it would have been cute, but or just better.
I just realized we're not done yet with this fight. Because remember in the trailer, there's, like, her yelling at Shannon. Isn't there another scene where she yells at Shannon?
I don't know. I thought this was one of the ones that I seen where they were in pink when she yelled at her in pink. So this could be it, but I don't know. I hope not. But listen, this is where we're at. This is what we got. We've been waiting for this. So I can only hope this is episode 2. I'm hoping it's going to go up from here. Yeah, no, I know it is. It's rough. So, I mean, I don't want to say that I need you to have controversy in your life, but...
Not this.
Just don't have the... Me?
That was my laptop.
I just don't need them to have the same fight again. Like, let's learn from New Jersey. Stop.
Because there is clearly something, I mean, I'm assuming that goes on with them and Heather. And it's like, I want to know what that is. That's like, what did they do to Heather?
They hyped this up so big that they better not have hyped it up too much that it doesn't make sense. Because I'll be like...
I'm fearful. Oh. I'm scared.
I'm nervous. Well, minus the cats, we made it through.
Yeah, the cats were a little
Apparently, they took a Sunday venture out. I can hope they only went to breakfast perhaps or something. Could you imagine that in a restaurant, those two kids?
Those are those kids that when you're at the diner,
you gotta leave.
You're like, oh my god, you're giving them nasty looks, because it's like, and I know people be like, oh, you shouldn't do that, like poor parents, but these parents don't know how to parent at all.
No poor parents. No, I'm sorry. If you don't know how to control your kids, then you should not bring that to a place where it's a public place and other people have to listen to it.
Yeah.
I'm going for a nice breakfast with my person.
We're sidetracking. We should save this for the way we talk about it all.
Oh yeah. That's a
good one. We talk about children.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, maybe not this week, but next
Parenting.
week we'll do parenting.
Parenting from someone that has no children and someone that has one.
But
I have
Sissy.
parented
Look
lots
at my kid. Look at her.
Your kid wasn't that good during this thing
Not
either.
in the beginning, but look, she pulled it through.
She passed out of boredom and lack
My
of
other
food.
kid's ashes is in a box.
Let's go. We gotta eat.
All right, that's it. We'll be back next week to do next week's episode. No more New Jersey. It's completely done. All of our episodes are currently live. And we're going to do our Vanderpump Rules. If you were wondering why we didn't post that last week, we were waiting for Secrets Revealed because we had no clue that was coming out.
It wasn't
and hopefully
bad.
It's done
It wasn't
now.
bad.
No, it gave you a
Secrets
little
Revealed,
something.
it gave you a little
we got,
something. It
we got the
wasn't-
pumped up version
Was
as
it
well.
worth waiting for? I mean, we probably could have done without it, but we're going to basically not so much review the whole series of Vanderpump, but
Yeah, not the way
we're going
we
to
do
just
this,
do
but-
the like maybe most iconic moments and a little bit of
Favorite.
trivia, favorites, best one-liners, things
that
of that
stuff.
nature. Like it'll be a whole sum up of the crazy and our opinions on Scandival and the aftermath. So it'll be interesting.
Alrighty, well, we hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure you give us a good rating, and if you're on YouTube, give us a thumbs up. Don't give us a thumbs down. Instead, leave a comment telling us how we can improve. Make sure you subscribe and follow and turn on notifications so you don't miss any episodes. And check out our other podcast. We talk about it all.
Yes, and follow us on Instagram.
Where we talk about it all.
Yep, that's it. Hit the button.
Oh,
What? Was there something else to say?
so see you next week.
Hit the button.